Alright, so I thought I'd record me starting a buttload of weapons for Mongoose Publishing. Probably won't record all of them because there's about 21, but yeah. Gonna start from the beginning. Here's the art spec. So it's for Traveller. And then what I'd normally get is a kind of brief on the art style that they're looking for, and then each weapon has a description and it gives me the size of the image. These are all PNG, no background. So yeah, let's dive in. So the first one I'm going to start is page 64, Imperial Army DSW for Ripper. So this is Imperial style, so they've given me the style just there. So it's kind of like Halo, Mass Effect, kind of human-made, kind of dark, gritty, metallic colours with colour accents. So, and you get a description. So it's a Gauss rifle, electromagnetic coils. So it's not going to have a barrel. I'll probably do it like in the reference. So if you keep seeing me go over to my other screen, basically I'm just looking at the reference. So here's my reference. So it's like a railgun style barrel, and then it needs to be mounted on a small vehicle, so it will have a mount at the bottom as well. So yeah, I'm going to get started. This might be a bit of a long one, but you know, I had altercation. Well, I didn't really have altercations, but I'm getting sick and tired of people saying, "Oh, did you use AI?" and all stuff like that. So I'm going to record more of my work and my commissions. So accountability and transparency is very, very, very important. So you're going to have to put up with me mumbling while I'm working. Alright, let's put that there. So I'm gonna do this old school. Just start with a sketch. And let's just dive right in. So it's going to be, the shape language is going to be very hexagonal, like human tech. Alien tech is normally kind of like rounded like this, but we're going human tech, so it's more square shape language is needed. The sketch is going to be the roughest part. The first initial sketch anyway. It's not even going to look like anything for a few minutes, but you just have to have faith in your ability to kind of see shapes in front of you and make them make sense. As I always say, seeing shapes in clouds. And then you've got to, this is what AI can't do. Like it can really render and do color harmony great, but it can't sit and think like, oh, if I was to hold that, would that fit? Like, it has no design sense. It just mashes together a bunch of stuff. So I've really got to think about design. Would this actually work? Like, would someone be able to pick this up? Would you be able to mount this onto a vehicle? How would the person pick it up? Image generators cannot think like that unless we do make a sentient AI, and then if we value AI work over humans, then we are all really screwed. If we don't value humans anymore, we're truly lost. Hopefully that doesn't happen, eh? Okay. Right. There's going to be lots of sound effects, unfortunately. I love a good sound effect while I'm working. Just trying to work out this mount. That's how it attaches. I think it needs to be longer, like that. And then this can go away. It's just all these little shape changes that make a big difference. Is this going to have a trigger? Does it say? Metallic slugs fired at high speeds. So the barrel's bulky. Right, so it's probably going to have a trigger because it's probably someone's controlling it when it's mounted on a turret. And there's a box above or below the firing device. Oops. I've got to make sure there's a box somewhere for the ammo to go in. Maybe I'll put it like at the back. Maybe the trigger can be kind of like here. Excuse me. Right, so let's have the box like here. No, because see, this is why humans are good. So I've got to work out how they're able to be able to fire it from a vehicle. And have the box. So there's going to be like a little grip there for someone to fire it. Maybe the box can go up here. Let's put it up here. So this is why I keep telling people not to worry, because your skill is being able to look back on experiences and understand how when you're designing stuff, how it's going to work practically. It doesn't literally have to work because you're just drawing, but for someone to connect with a design, you've got to think, oh yeah, that can work, even if it's on a subconscious level. That's why people don't connect with generated stuff, because there's no thought behind it. It's just a roulette wheel. But again, like I said, it does really good because it samples from such a wide variety of stuff. It does really good color harmony and textures, but people are still needed for the human touch. I'm not just going to make this me about talking about AI. It's just on my mind because obviously I'm filming more of my process videos now, just to have that accountability in these weird times. Okay, so maybe we can have some. Let's check that again, because if it's a pulse rifle, there's no ammo, is there? Metallic slugs. Oh, so it does fire ammunition. Okay. So we could maybe have like some sticking out at the top, maybe. Where's that reference gone? That one. Yeah, so shape language, all straight lines, no real curves or kind of sharp lines, just I need to draw a swastika then. Right, so this is where it's going to attach to the mount. Let's work on this mount a little bit more because that's kind of looking a bit rubbish. Maybe we'll have a circle there. I've actually got a circle brush. Where is it? Maybe I won't use any stupid brushes just yet. This is just a sketch. So how is it going to be mounted? Is the question. And then maybe a bit coming down. Like that. Stick to those hexagonal shapes. Maybe some cable. Beep, beep. And some bolts. So it says fully attached. Can I do something interesting here? Just don't really want it to look too much like it's just a handheld rifle, because this is more like support weaponry or weaponry. Okay. Has it got that railgun look? I think so. Let's bring up the reference again. Zoom in. So I'm using this as my main reference. Normally it's best when you're working with clients, they've already got a really good idea of what they want each thing to look like. So use the reference, take bits from it, and then use that human brain to make it work in this imaginary universe. Guns are quite easy to do, really, especially at this perspective, because there is no perspective. It's just 2D, so you can just focus on the design. You don't really have to worry too much about accurate perspective or anything. And then you just build up the layers of panel work and detail, and then you just got to think about each thing you're doing. This isn't just random stuff when it comes to weapons. You got to think, like, what is that for? So these are little grips to mount it to the vehicle. How is it going to mount to the vehicle? So probably going to have little screw caps or something like here. I don't know. just got to use your imagination. So let's use the old clone stamp. Clone stamp's great. Oh, that's not the clone stamp. Clone stamp's really nice tool. If you just want to repeat parts, and then the more information you get down, the more you can start editing it. That's the beauty of. Right, so I want that to be flat with this. So let's just do a straight line for reference. Oh no, it is. It is the same level. It didn't look like it. Right, so what I'm thinking now is this looks like it could just fall down, right? So I need to move this a little more over this way. Again, this is where having a human brain is good, because an AI does not know that. It cannot think like that. Oh, what did I just do? This one. So let's bring. What does the trigger look like on that? Bring it down that way. Like that. Yeah, see, it looks more balanced now. I think it does anyway. Alright, so what I can start doing now, let's bring up that reference again. Yeah, so there's like the little holes everywhere. So obviously the art director liked the look of that. So I think I'm gonna include the little, I don't know what you call them, air vents, I don't know. Then we use that clone stamp. Boom, 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 easy. It's a little bit of a cheat, but that's why we use a digital medium, because it speeds up the process. It doesn't cheat the process. I could have sat and drawn all those circles, but that would have literally been a waste of my time, because this is a job at the end of the day. We want to work smart, but the point is we want to work. Alright, let's flatten that. Beep. Right, flip it. Maybe we could add like a... I still think it needs to be a little bit... Unless I add something to the back here. But then, again, human mind. If I add something to the back, how is someone going to fire it? They're not. They ain't going to be able to fire it. Maybe I can like... I think basically again the answer is this just needs to be more in the middle. Like that. Yeah. And let's just do some like little gubbins down here. Gubbins is not a technical word, it's English for stuff. It's all gone a bit messy here. when I did that. Get rid of that. Da, 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 da. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, I'm liking the look of that. Looks pretty cool. Right, so now we can start adding just all the little extra panels that you might find on a gun. Again, we're not trying to make something that works in real life, but it has to be relatable to a human. You have to imagine that you could use this. But obviously, I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. Well, it's a trigger, but I think anyone watching understands what I mean. Right, let's start to zoom in a little bit. See, look how messy the sketch is. But that's okay. Just a sketch. So let's make use of the clone stamp again. I've got to do 4 of these today. If I'm going to finish this job in time, I need 4 designs. I found 4 is really my limit. After working on, like, after coming up with 4 designs for anything, my brain is fried. I mean, it already kind of is fried right now. But that's the reality of being self-employed. No one else is going to do it other than you. Right, so someone could definitely hold that in their hand. Make that a little bit flatter. Let's have a look at this. Yeah, so I'll just do lots of little... Another good design thing to think about is never just do 2 of something, always do 3 or 5. Don't know why, just things in threes when it comes to design just work better. Just one of those really weird laws of the universe. Trust me, this works. I think it's because your eye can, like, if you just have 2 points, your eye goes boom boom. But the eye likes to travel around an image. And it just likes things in odd numbers when it comes to design. I don't know why. It just works, because I've done this time and time again. Hundreds and thousands of paintings, and if something doesn't look right, it's normally something like that. Like, oh, there's like 2 of something and it looks weird. Just a weird phenomena. We've evolved over time for some reason to find things visually pleasing when they come in threes. I don't know why. It's bizarre. But that's why I find life fascinating. When you dig into all this stuff, start asking why. That's going to be sticking out like that. Does this look like a railgun? I think it looks like a railgun. I think this bit is probably too high up. And then I'll turn this into like some sort of aiming scope. Similar to the reference, but not exactly like the reference. And then like connect it there. And what I'll do all these videos in parts. So when I'm done with my sketch, I'll pause it, and then the next stage will be a refined sketch, and then I'll just add some grayscale color to it. Well, not grayscale color. That doesn't really make sense, does it? I'll fill it in like a kind of shading a pencil sketch, but just very, very basic. Tell you what, let's use that brush I was talking about earlier that does circles. Custom shapes. There you go, circle. Boom! Makes things a little bit better, doesn't it? So that's, I don't know, I'm kind of indicating that you can take that off or something. I don't really know, to be honest. Right, so this is looking a bit too bendy. Bendy. We don't want bendy shapes in imperial human-made Halo style weaponry, unless it makes sense like this. So that's like a hinge, you can move it, or like a joint like that. You have to be able to go, oh, that was definitely built by humans. Because if it doesn't look like it's been built by humans, then it's failed as a design. Again, that's probably too... Right, I want to start getting some straight lines now, so I'm just going to do a hard round brush, and then I can hold shift and then get some nice straight lines. Again, a little bit of a cheat, but I sketch traditionally in my sketchbook and practice my straight lines, so I don't really feel guilty. If you're completely robbing yourself with the dexterity of your drawing hand, then I'd suggest not being too reliant on all these kind of tools. You need to learn that mind-muscle connection. Maybe some cables. Yep. No, maybe not. Maybe just like another thing. It's all things. So do that and then get rid of that middle bit. And then just build up the complexity, because this is another thing. This is a big gun, so there's probably going to be quite a few elements of detail and panel work, but we're not too worried about that now. We just want to get the design done. Detail is important, but it's the last step. It's the icing on the cake. So I think I want like some sort of control panel here, because that would make sense. The operator would be able to use like some sort of touchpad to select the fire. that there, and then maybe some switches and buttons to select the fire mode. Beep, beep. Starting to look all right, I think. So the hinge there. I think the word hinge has been tainted, hasn't it, by a dating app. Never used dating apps myself. I'm too awkward. And plus, I just feel like it's where all the crazy people congregate. I should stop talking. Right. So let's like add some small details here and there. Maybe like I want to make this obvious that this is an ammo box and it's attached on the side. So let's kind of make it look like hang on. Zoom in a little bit. Make it look like there's like a joint here or a hinge and it's like attached and it's like sticking out the side like that. And that looks too much like a suitcase. Don't know why, just wanted to change that corner. That looks a bit naff, doesn't it? That looks even worse. That'll do. And then we'll have like some sort of button there, I don't know. And then more panel work. Whoops. Okay. And then maybe something right here. Just having a think. Maybe I'll add a flat bit at the bottom so it really does look like it is mounted on top of a vehicle. No, it looked better before, didn't it? Yeah, that looks like it can be mounted on a vehicle. Be more confident in yourself. Well, what I'll do, I'll go through the entire process with this one because I'll send this one to Abby, my art director, and then she'll give me her comments. Normally, she's kind of happy with what I've done. There's might be some little things here and there, like can you move that there? And then we'll go into the colouring and detail process. So that'll be fun, won't it, kids? Maybe like Bap. What's going on here? So get rid of that. Maybe it like slots in. Could be a cool idea. Let's get our little round circle brush boy. I am brush boy. Sorry, you're probably going to get all sorts of nonsense out of me. I find it really hard to like do work and actually explain what I'm doing. It'll have to be a separate thing, but I don't think there's many people just posting videos like this of them doing commissions and like just working from start to finish. I remember always looking for it. You know, when I was starting and just being like, just getting sick and tired of like, do you want to know how I make great art? And then you click on it and it's just clickbait nonsense, and then you're just like, oh, I haven't actually seen you paint. Not everyone's like that, but it's quite common. When you get older, you realise most people are just grifters, especially now. They're just trying to make money from your fears and insecurities. Right, I'm not going to get too political here. And it's not even political, it's just my worldviews. Might be wrong. Cool, that's starting to look like something, isn't it? So I might pause this soon and then we'll go over the refined sketch and then we'll shade it in. That's pretty fun. Yeah, so this is like how it attaches. This is why I find all this fun, because it's just, you're just being a little kid playing with Lego again. But it's your job. You don't do it for the money, even though there is good money to be earned. You do it because you enjoy it. And it's nice doing it as a job because you get that added pressure to improve. And then you get goals, like you want to jump on certain projects, like I want to get on Blizzard or work on this. And I think if you didn't have that, it would be hard to find the kind of motivation to get better. Which is my argument for when people say, oh, wouldn't it be good if you could get universal basic income and then you just get paid and you can just enjoy your hobbies? It's like, no. It would be like Wall-E, where they're all fat people in the chairs. We need to strive and struggle to overcome hard things and goals. And the current system of that works quite well. You get rewarded for hard work. I like it. If you get good enough at something, someone's going to pay you good money to do it. Right, now I'm just kind of Going into a bit of a gun trance right now, trying to finish this off. See, it uses so much like concentration. It can be difficult. Like I said, I can only do a maximum of 4 because afterwards I'm like this. Like my girlfriend will try and I'll speak to my girlfriend in the evening, and I'll just be like, duh. I've got nothing left by the end of the day, but it's a good feeling because all anxieties and worry that is not there. You know, some people can't get to sleep because they're overthinking. My brain is drained like a sponge. Couldn't possibly have a thought after a day's drawing guns, which is great. Right, I'm just going to do a few little thingy-majigs, gubbinses. Again, like I said before, free. Comes in freeze. How long has this took me? 40 minutes. Okay, so it's probably going to be 4 hours of work to get what I want to do today done. So that's a good way of working out your rate that you charge. I can normally do an idea in an hour. Right, how can I make this more railgun-like? I don't think I can. Other than just some little things. Burp, burp. And then what I normally do before I am happy with a sketch, in a second I'll go back, read the brief, look at the reference and be like, okay, did I achieve what I set out to do? Do another little connector. Ba, ba, ba. Let's play around with this. Nope, too thick. Maybe I'll do, yeah, that looks a bit better. Right, so I'm happy with that as a sketch. So let's bring this back. And then we'll reread. Go away. Go away. Go away. What is this? Go away. Go away. Go away. Alright, just press continue, that's fine. Right, so it's a Gauss rifle. The barrel is bulky. Check. It's mounted, can be mounted to a small vehicle. Check, there's the mount. And it has a high capacity ammo hopper, which is this. Check. And here's the reference. It kind of looks like this, but it's not the exact thing. Let's do a few more things. I don't like this, it looks too old-fashioned, so maybe I'll just add a few little other no, I don't like that either. you can show that it maybe has been like slid on or something. Yeah, that's instantly better. I want to make this barrel look a bit cooler. Don't know how though. I always forget to breathe when I'm concentrating. Something I'm working on. Always be open about your flaws and conscious of them. Oh, I just didn't listen to my own rule. Do things in threes. There you go. Right, so maybe I'll just have some lines. Bump, 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 bump. Bum 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 bum. Little things. I love drawing things. See, none of this makes any sense, but it does at the same time. It's just shapes. Shapes that have been thought about and considered, not just randomized. Do I like that? Why is it there? Maybe it's going to be. Bum 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 bum. Right, get rid of that. Get rid of it. I don't know what's going on here. I think that was where I moved it. So, see, I'm going into the more detailed sketch automatically. That's what tends to happen. I get carried away. I get into it, and then before I know it, I've finished it. When I said it will be 2 parts. This will be 2 parts, so I need a break. Get a drink of water. Probably go for a poo. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh. Right, how can I make this look like a ammo barrel even more? Have that, right, and then maybe some stuff sticking out there. There you go, ammo barrel. Bop, 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 bop. Billy boop. A thing there. That might be like a how you cock it. You seen Shaun of the Dead? Cock it. I think that's Shaun of the Dead anyway. I feel like I'm starting to warm up now. Like the first one's always the hardest. It's like going to the gym. I always compare everything to going to the gym, but it is like going to the gym. You don't go and lift your heaviest weight straight away. You got to warm up and stretch. I find the same with art. You gotta like get a few out the way first, and then it kind of starts to flow a little bit more. Doot, doot, doot. Grippage. No grippage to speak of. That's from Ricky Gervais Afterlife. No, that doesn't look good, does it? What I try and do is just kind of like imagine in my head before I lay any sketches down. This can be circular shape language because someone's got to hold it, so bum 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 bum. Bum, bum, bum. Okay, I'm going to stop this video now because the dumpling delivery man's coming anyway, so it's going to ruin the audio. I'm in Vietnam. So after my break, I noticed that the scope is in the way of the ammo box. So all I'm going to do to solve that is just bring the scope out this way. So obviously it's a 2D representation, so we can show that the ammo box is on the side and the scope travels straight through and then ends up kind of out here somewhere. So like that. And I might add a few little, well, I'm just going to start my refined sketch now. So this is probably going to be a little bit boring, but for you guys anyway, but I want to show the whole process from start to finish. So we're just refining all these edges and then probably changing a few things here and there. Adding some little indications of little bolts and joins and all that fun stuff. And then just cleaning it up a little bit. I probably won't clean it up too much, to be honest. Doesn't need to be perfect. It's all going to be painted over anyway, so we'll just start to refine the design. So you just come up with little things like this, that just little attachments like that attaches to that, and then that attaches to that. And then I'll just add some, like for futuristic, like Gauss style rifles, you want lots of like vents like cooling systems and whatever. They always look pretty fun. Don't want the weapon to overheat, do we? And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. That's what's good about an illustration. You want it to look like someone has crafted it. That's why I use a lot of 3D in my stuff for like spaceships and that, just to help with the perspective. But I always end up like reverse engineering it so it looks more like an illustration. You gotta do things to save time, because like I said, you're on the clock. I could sit and spend all day hand painting everything. I'd like to do that, but it's just not. When you're trying to run a business, you just can't do it unless you're getting paid handsomely for it. I mean, I get paid well, but yeah, I'm not going to go too much into all that stuff. You just got to use your tools intelligently. Hopefully you can't hear the washing machine that's going off next door. I like that. It's a pretty fun design. So to me that looked weird, so might add a little curve to that, and then maybe here do some sort of like grip where that's gonna, so we do 5, we'll do 7 of them. Maybe that's where it sits on the shoulder. Like sits there, you hold it. Like that. Alright, let's get rid of all this sketchiness. And then I'll probably start filling it in with some values. All that stage is we're going to fill the shape in with a block of colour, well, just a block value. And then we can start to show bits that stick out three-dimensionally. We can separate the covers and panels from the mechanical insides. Covers and guts, as Hardy Fowler would say. Great teacher. He was how I learnt how to do a lot of these techniques I'm showing you. I've developed my own as well, but a lot of like the rendering techniques and covers and guts, like I said, like things to think about with design, balance, contrast, things like that. I learnt from him. He's a great teacher. Right, I'm going to lower the opacity now and then do a little bit of a lighter tone, bit of lighter sketching. Get rid of that. A boxy thing. So this is going to be a lot of detail in here, and then the barrel is going to be simple. Oh, I don't really know what's going on there. That looks naff. I use my trusty circle stamp for that, I think. Have that coming down there. We can start to throw in some more circular shaped language, but just very subtly. It's got to be overwhelmingly square shaped language. Art is a language you're communicating to the viewer. You've got to remember that. And I'm trying to communicate precision military with this one. Right, let's add some little screw rivets. More line work. Alright, let's work on tidying this bit down here. If I can get the outside of the silhouette done cleanly, then I can just fill it. You'll see in a minute. You'll see what I mean. How's that going to happen? Like that. Get rid of that. There's my little slot where it slots in into position. No one might not even notice that, but I think subconsciously you pick up on stuff like that. I really do think so. Because the human mind is very perceptive, even though you're not aware of it sometimes. You've seen so much stuff, unless you're a recluse. Well, people see stuff on TV, right? You kind of know what needs to be done on a design. I'm waffling now. Might need to get a pillow for my seat because my butt is hurting. Taper that off. Maybe we'll have this indented there. That can be like chrome. Polished metal. Bum, 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 bum. Alright, let's see if I can select and fill this bad boy. So, merge down that, so it's just on one layer. And then wonder if I can. I wonder if object selects. Object selection. So if I drag that there. No, that's not going to work. Oh! Has that worked? No. Magic wand? Ah, yes, the magic wand. And then we'll go select inverse, and then I'll just fill it with a mid. Whoops! A mid grey, put it on a new layer. And then I'll tidy it up afterwards. There you go, that looks cool, doesn't it? So get rid of all the bits we don't want. That bit, that bit, that bit. I'll leave the cables for the time being. That actually filled in nicely. Okay, I might make that a little bit more. Oh, hang on. Missed that bit out. Oops. Little weird line there for some reason. Obviously didn't zoom in enough, did I? Oh, and on the end there. Right, I want that to be a little bit more darker. I'll bring it down like that. And then let's get our reference. So it doesn't state anything about the color, but here's my color scheme reference. So yeah, you want a mixture of like kind of dark and then slightly lighter panels, but it's all quite dark. So let's separate the panels from the rest of it. So this is kind of a nice brush to do that with. So we'll select pixels, another layer, and then let's work out what we want to be panels and what we want to be not panels. So by panels I mean like machined bits of plastic versus like more metally bolts and moving parts kind of thing. So you're kind of gonna use your imagination a little bit here. So right, maybe that whole bit can be panel work. Just slightly lowered the value there a little bit, just so we get a little difference. Oops. So that's our ammo box. And then I'll probably do like 3 or 4, or probably 3 different values. I'll have my light, my medium, and then I'll do dark last, which will be, you know, little things like this. Right, so this is going to be panel, but not that middle bit, because that's going to be like a locking mechanism. Might just be able to use the wand here. No, I'll just do it by hand. Remember, I want to keep it to like an hour and a half per idea. Otherwise, never going to get these done. Right. So this is obviously all panel work. Just these bits. Again, just go with the flow. You can always come back and change anything you don't like. Normally when you step away from an idea, you come back to it, you see things. Because as you can see, my eyes are fixated on getting in between these lines. And then you don't see the bigger picture. So, good tip is to step away, come back, step away, come back. Oops. Ah, I'm on the wrong layer. That doesn't matter. No dramas. All of this actually can be part of this panel. Maybe there could be a little gap there. And then probably everything here as well, except for that little machined piece. That's going to be metal. Maybe. Right, so I think all of this here is all panel work, and then I'll just erase out anything I don't want to be panel work afterwards. This bottom bit. Oh no, maybe not the bottom. So the bit, this part of the scope that sticks out, and then again I'll just erase out anything I don't want to be included on my panel work. Panel work. Probably all of this. maybe not that. Oh no, it probably will be all of this actually. And then grip of the handle. And then probably this. You want it to be about, at the minute this is 50-50, you want it to be about 75-25 one way or the other. So we're going to have 75% panel work. Again, it's that thirds rule again. Everything is in threes. Even the balance between panels and details. Probably this here. Where's my brush? There it is. Right, now I might work on my third value. Might drop that down a little bit in value. It's better. And then we'll do like a dark value, darker. For stuff like trigger. Oh, hang on, let's clean up this other layer first. Again, doesn't have to be perfect. Just get rid of anything you don't want. Like that. Oh, bugger. We can put back in stuff that we do want. Wrong button. And then maybe I'll just create. No, that should be okay actually. I'll just erase. Bit of a pain in the arse. Bam, 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 bam. And then get rid of these as well. Alright, let's go back to my darkest value. Select the pixels so I can just do that. So this is going to be the stuff that's like, I don't know. Again, I'm just making it up, but just like the real deep gubbins. It's for the gubbins. That's what it's for. The gubbins. Gubbins, there you go. Gubbins, gubbins, gubbins. There's some gubbins down there. This brush is good. It's got sensitivity on size and opacity. So I really like this one. That you can go like, it's easy to work with. Probably that. Definitely this bottom stuff. And stuff like this. Probably this kind of stuff as well, my little attachment. And this. Now what's great, I've said this in other videos, but I have not had one thought other than anything to do with this gun I'm painting. I remember being at jobs where I just used to worry because I had nothing better to concentrate on. I did not care, but I really care about doing this, so it leaves room. It leaves spaciousness in your head. I think that idea is almost done. Let's do these cables. They don't even really look good, to be honest. I might even get rid of them. Change it for something else. Da, 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 da. I think it needs something, doesn't it? Alright, we'll have cables again. Cables are great. And then another one there as well. Yeah, I think that looks alright for a Gauss rifle. Okay, idea done. How long did that take me? About an hour, 15 minutes. So a little bit under target, but got there in the end. So 3 more to go. I may or may not record these, but at least you know my process for sketching out ideas. So the next video for this one, basically what I'm going to do, I'm going to send this over to Abby now, get some feedback, and then if she likes it, I'm going to start painting. So that will involve refining, adding colour, adding detail, adding light, shadow, all the rest of it, making it look nice and realistic and yeah, and attractive. Can a gun be attractive? I don't know. So yeah, I'll see you in part 3. How do I stop this?